We are getting back into the horror side of things on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a Creepypasta by the Dark Somnium. Shout out to the Dark Somnium. If you would like me to take down my video, just shoot me an email, a text, or whatever. But I have no intentions on just, re-uploading a video. This is The Quiet Sky, everyone. Welcome. Sending out a lot of love as always. Take fate into your own hands. Shout out to my patrons. And let's hop in to this Creepypasta. Oh man. I'm not ready for this. I got a lot of horror stuff to go through. So, let's do it. Dark.
It started when we called out to the stars, into the darkness. We felt so small, tumbling through vast emptiness while clinging to the skin of the world, and without a single reason why. We were curious, yes, but ultimately I think we were just terribly frightened. And we were young. So very young. We were children, and like a lonely lost child, we did the only thing we could think of to make it stop. We did what we thought we had to do to make the universe make sense. We called for help. For years we scanned the sky for a sign. We sent signals to the stars in the darkness beyond. Are we alone? But the skies were quiet. Always. So quiet. Leaving us to our own makings. But crying children never cease. And neither did we. We sent calls into every corner of space for decade after decade. We refused to believe that no one was out there. They had to be, yet.
Damn, that's one of those fuck around and find out moments. It's like you're calling out to beings that you don't even know. Most likely yourself, but still there are some entities around here that get busy.
For some unknown reason, they never answered us. Everyone remembers when that changed. They think it responded to the Arcibo message from 1974. The response to the message was received almost 3 months ago, in 2 separate parts. The first part of the message was received at the Hat Creek Radio Observatory in California. The Allen telescope array picked up what sounded like static interference that continued on for over an hour. It consisted of unintelligible screeching and buzzing sounds that continued without pause for a whole hour. The meaning of this message was never discovered, if it had one. The only thing we knew was that the signal's origin came from somewhere in the Hercules constellation, near Messier 13. As soon as that signal stopped, the real message began. We made contact that day, and we were asked a question. Who is there? It came not through the radios, but as a voice.
What the hell was that? Did this shit say who is there? Ugh.
A voice inside all of our heads asked the question to all of us.
Oh yeah, this is Cthulhu.
I heard it. My wife heard it. The young heard it, and the old heard it. Even the deaf heard it. Everyone everywhere heard this voice whisper that question in their heads in every language on earth. I remember it almost too clearly.
Oh hell
It
no.
asked in that familiar yet indescribable voice.
Ask and ye shall receive. One of the moments like this, oh my
It's
gosh,
always
that'd be
there in my mind. It was like one of my own thoughts had gone rogue and had decided to speak directly to me.
Oh, that's beautiful
The
writing.
world seemed to stop as everyone listened for what came next. Where are you? The heavy question seemed to linger in our minds for hours afterwards, then for days, and then for weeks.
Was it we were where are you? It sounded like we were where are you, or it like glitched out. It was like where are you?
That day changed everything. There were doubters from the very beginning, and the holy ones who claimed that God had spoken to all of us, and that the time to repent was now.
Oh hell
There were
no.
those who claimed they'd heard nothing, and those who claimed that the aliens had given them their own secret messages. And
Of
there were
course.
those who truly believed that we had been contacted for the first time by an extraterrestrial race like us, one ready to communicate, ready to lead us out of the dark. We were wrong. We never made contact with alien life, at least nothing comprehensible or discernible to human understanding. The stars are vast, and in their vastness our voices had touched the ears of something truly incomprehensible, something hungry and malevolent. The voice. We realized our mistake when the ground started.
Yo, I feel like, okay, so one thing I'm gonna say is I feel like if you call out to anything, right, in the universe, okay, first, yo, it's really crazy when you think about that on a, what would something interdimensional need to eat? I honestly think about the Matrix. It would have to be emotions, feeling, our soul, and your own consciousness. All of that stacked together is all basically the same thing, but whatever you want to call it, it would have to feed on your higher nature. Because you're going to call out to something in the universe, and then what? It's going to want to stop by Earth for a bagel? Or like, what the fuck? Like, it's going to want to feed on your mind. So I'm just saying they called out the Cthulhu, but Cthulhu, I just so want to get deep and be like, and say certain things that I know, but for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to. But it's just like, what did they call out to the shadow Earth, the mirror Earth on the other side of the universe, that they have humans that have unlocked their psychic abilities, so now they're about to do a collective Kamehameha on everybody's consciousness on this Earth.
To groan beneath our feet. Everywhere the ground seemed to moan. The muffled sound shook through the dust and the dirt below us. No.
He said the ground began to moan and shuffle. I love the writing, but then my mind gets so dirty, and I'm like, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, she hit an organ.
I knew what was causing it. At least
demonetized.
Not until the calls started coming in. The graveyards were screaming. All at once, the dead started screaming. Every deceased man, woman, and child was turning in their graves. All the animals did so, too. Every dog, every cat, everything that had ever walked the earth. The cries of ancient whales shook the seas, and the shrill screeching of birds echoed in the...
How is this 4 minutes in? Where do you go past this?
Force. The caskets shook, and the morgues howled. The voices stopped together in an instant, leaving the world in an amplified silence. In their absence, a new sound filled the air. The voice returned.
The voice, yeah.
I hear you. It came as a whisper from behind, an ominous yet oddly playful presence that felt so close, but was truly still so far away. It let us breathe in the silence for a moment before it made us a promise. It was a promise we all knew to be true. I am coming. The voice was gone. The air was again filled with screams. This time they were from the living. After the voice had gone, we were left to our own devices. Millions panicked, and rightfully so, as chaos took hold of the streets.
Imagine ensuing this panic as a divine being and then just never coming. That's like playing literally with the gullibleness of so many people, or just like Whoa, hold on. Is this one of those videos where you stare at it long enough it starts stretching? Yo, because I'm sitting here looking at the screen and it's like fucking still expanding.
Many would die in the violence and gunfire
weird.
That night. They would be known as the Rapture.
The violence and the gunfire, yup, Rapture. I feel like this is exactly what the apocalypse would look like. Mass hysteria and shit. All you could do is just be a divine being and just be like, I'm coming to devour y'all, and the world will go mad, and then you never show up. You show up like after to see what happened.
Before long, and the rest of us were the condemned. We could only wait.
Oh, why am I talking like that?
Dead was only the first of the side effects that we felt as the voice approached. The closer it got, the more we felt it. That first night after the screaming, we noticed the stars bleed for the first time. A section of the western sky had turned black, blacker than the night, and it was only truly visible because of the ring of stars around it. The light from those stars had turned red, and they seemed to bleed across the sky like food coloring dropped into water.
Damn.
The light swirled and flowed all around the edge of some unseen mass. I knew then that I was staring into the face of the voice. Our scientists claimed that nothing was there and that their radar and scans always came up empty. Their telescopes could see nothing but darkness in that section of space. However, the proof was right in front of us, as every night that ring of darkness got wider and more stars bled into the sky. We watched it come. As each night passed, the black spot would widen and more stars would distort and bleed around it. During the day, a new hell would greet us. The side effects worsened. The day always brought something new. I'm sure most of what happened will go untold and unknown. The animals started disappearing. All of them. No tracks, traces, or bodies were left behind. Pets would run away, some violently so. They all retreated, never to be seen again. The forests were left abandoned, the oceans empty, and the air was left silent. The world seemed so empty and lonely. They left like water receding from the shore, just before the tsunami breaks. One day, about 2 weeks ago, scientists tried to talk to the voice again. They hoped, perhaps, to reason with it. They told it about what was happening on our world and asked it questions. The scientists begged. It didn't speak. When asked, "What do you want?" the voice sent a response. The next night, the skies lit up with streaks of fire. It was alight for hours, blazoned with orange and red. We didn't realize the effects until the next day when the televisions turned to static and the telephones refused to work. We had sat, watching, as all the satellites were knocked out of the heavens. After that, reports became rumors and rumblings. Sanity, a thing of the past. The air chilled and weighed us down. The voice was nearly here, and everyone felt it. It rained for a week after the satellites fell. The rain was salty and mired with an unknown filth that turned the grass black. Maybe the satellites tracked something back in with them when they hit the sky. No one knew for sure. All we know is that it fell from the clouds black as charcoal and blotted out the sky like liquid ash. Darkness fell upon us for days. When the clouds went away, the skies were empty. There were no clouds, yet the sky hung low and gray. If the sun was anywhere in the sky, it never made itself known. Even it had abandoned us. Each day grew slowly darker and darker until night and day became almost the same. Some people would claim later that they'd seen things in the dark. Creatures with gangly limbs and crooked faces lurking in the corners.
Damn, see, I have a wild imagination, and I'm just fucking living this shit in my mind right now. But also, I'm also thinking to myself, like, how the fuck did they survive so long? They stockpile food? Like, there's no talk of the food shortages, but I'm assuming that's just easy to assume because of all the animals leaving and fucking the ground cracking and everything damn near turning up on Earth.
Corner of their vision. They were tall, white creatures that looked molten or rotten through their transparent skin. Appearances would last for just a second or two before vanishing without a trace. Some believed this to be the first step in the aliens' invasion, but the rest of us didn't know what to think. We just knew that it was nothing that simple or benign. They must have been hallucinations, just more madness to endure, but ultimately as harmless as anything else, as harmless as the screams of the dead, the missing animals, the dying sky.
Wait, they're saying it was harmless?
Appearances slowly increased in duration and number. I think everyone saw them once at the least, but I don't think a single person would ever guess why they were truly here. They never touched nor spoke to anyone, and they certainly never harmed anyone. Most who got good looks at them described them as mournful or sorrowful looking. Some even claimed the creatures watched over them at night, and others even claimed that it seemed as if the creatures were sorry for them. One claimed to have seen one upon the ground, hands clasped over its head. He said it was praying for us.
Oh, like this or like this?
The churches and places of worship that had divided us for so long failed to bring hope to any in the end. The voice let them pray.
I like how that was written.
Wow. Prayer was no help.
Prayer was no help. The churches and places of worship that had divided us for so long failed to bring. That was such a real statement.
Hope to any in the end. The voice let them pray and beg for a while, but just days ago, the voice ended it all. No one questioned how, for at this point, nothing that happened surprised anyone anymore, but on the final day, all books of worship burned. Every last Bible, every Quran, everything. People rushed to their centers of faith, but found no solace. The churches and temples had suffered the same fates, if not worse. The people were left abandoned by their greatest hopes. There were rumors of churches all over the world, with walls formed from the bodies of those who sought refuge. They were merged to the walls, stuck to them like flies in a trap. They died still pleading for hope, but they were beyond God's help. The rest of us had learned to stop begging. We waited. The final message came. From beyond the sky it fell upon us, and the voice echoed and it spoke the simple truth.
I am here.
There's a darkness beyond the horizon, the likes of which I doubt has never been seen. It brings with it the screams of countless souls, and it moves fast. The stars are dying now, and I know they'll never be seen again. The light is dying so fast. I leave this not as a warning. No, it's far too late for that. Instead, consider this the last realization, the last humanity will ever know. For we used to wonder whether or not we were alone and lost, but never whether or not we were safe and hidden. The universe is infinite, and our understanding was significantly more finite. We should have never beckoned to the darkness. Instead, we should have clung to the light.
So the captions aren't correctly right, because he said, should have. Everyone knows this about captions by now, but we shouldn't have beckoned into the darkness. I like that.
Our eyes every time we returned it to the void. As the final minutes approach, I hold one final truth to be certain. I now know why the skies were always so quiet.
Oh, what a cool freaking wrap up. That was so cool. I don't know if the music is copyright, but let me see real quick. Oh no, he writes the music. Okay. That's him, I'm assuming? That's cool. Oh, that is so cool. The quiet sky, and then at the end he's like, now I understand why the stars, like the cosmos, are so quiet. Low-key though, that's the funny thing about meditation too. When you meditate, that is your highest point, or your highest point of connection to the divine and your divine self, whatever you want to call it. I always say and your divine self, but whatever you believe to be divine, when you're truly sitting, your eyes closed, and you there. That is that. And funny, like how he twisted it for the story is like the cosmos are quiet. And funny enough is, when you're in meditation, you kind of see the beasts of the different sections of your soul and your consciousness. And it's just cool that like meditation calms that, starts to separate you from your ego, so you're not reacting too much. And if we are the cosmos itself also, that was kind of like a reflection of, they called out to the cosmos and got something darker, like the shadow self of themselves, to come back and basically return them to the void. Because when you think about it, humanity is flawed by nature, right? And truly, I don't want to get too deep with how I'm taking this, but it was just a cool one to start with on this list. It's just like, it's a cool way to think about it. But yeah, basically you see the stars are quiet. Y'all are out here wondering that we're the only intelligent life. Let's keep it at that. We are obviously not. We can make that safe assumption that, scientists and all them, and by the way, ancient knowledge too that's being hidden, we are not the only ones here. We're not the only ones on Earth, first of all, and we are definitely not the only one in a multiverse of fucking realities that there is life. So now that we know that there is life out there, let's not try to call it, contact it. Let's contact it within here. Let's not actually try to send out some frequencies to space and get some pings back. And I know they sent little distractions telling y'all that they have gotten pings back from shit from space. One little message. Stuff like that. It's like, nah, if the aliens are here, they're already here. They've been here. They're growing up right beside us. They're in the ground. There's no way. Let's stop searching. We know the truth. It's funny because when you speak truth to someone, they can feel it. They get goosebumps. Truth is a frequency. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all for this recommendation. Shout out to the Dark Somnium again. As always, guys, love y'all. Shout out to my patrons. And I'll see you in the next one. Much love and moonlight. Peace.